It's been a very busy 4 weeks. Started in Petit Le Mans, then to Japan, Austin, Formula 1, Mexico, and now China. So actually I dealt with it pretty well, I have to say. A lot of sleeping on the plane. Had to work hard on just keeping on top of the health and fitness, make sure I didn't get sick because I knew it was going to be a busy few weeks. But yeah, I guess we're used to that as racing drivers traveling around the world. So yeah. I think in a lot of ways LMP1 really prepared me well because there's a similar sized team at the racetrack, both very professional. In terms of the structure and how I deal with the engineers, that's all very familiar to me, which I think LMP1 prepares you amazingly well. And also the pressure of competing for Porsche at Le Mans, that's a high pressure scenario. You feel that. So I think from that side I was well prepared, and a lot more prepared than I was for Formula 1 in the past. On the other side, the car is completely different. The tyres are very different. Both equally complex, but just in different ways. So Austin was a steep learning curve, but I'm happy with how I progressed, and I came in very relaxed and calm and collected, which is how I wanted to do it. And I was smiling, I enjoyed it, enjoyed every moment. But I think in a lot of ways LMP1 prepared me for that. I mean, to enter Formula 1 without doing any previous testing in the last years is a tough ask. But I think I couldn't have had a better preparation in terms of being an LMP1. Yep. Sure, it was nice to take my first 2 Grand Prix at tracks that I'm very familiar with and that I've just been to. To be honest, I think learning a modern Formula 1 car with the huge downforce that they have right now is a much bigger challenge than learning a new racetrack for a driver. As drivers, we have so many tracks in our kind of bank of knowledge, let's say, that learning a track is quite a quick process for us now, especially with simulators and onboard videos. But having really that feeling of the Formula 1 car underneath you takes some work, and all the things that mean putting a Formula 1 weekend together. So I think anyway, learning the car is a bigger task than a track, but definitely I was happy to go to places I've just been to. No question. In terms of working in such a big project, professional, the pressure that I mentioned before that goes along with racing at Le Mans for Porsche. And on top of that, working with incredibly talented teammates. So I think in single-seaters, it can be very often that you're not sharing anything with your teammates. We're here, we work together. So you end up learning a lot more from them than you would in other categories. So I think it's been an amazing. I mean, it's not like I entered endurance racing in the hope that I was going to go back to Formula 1, but I think in terms of professionalism and how the operations work at the racetrack, there's a lot of similarities. And I think working with teammates so closely with like Mark Webber and Timo Bernhard in the last years and all this year is something very beneficial for any driver. We would love to win this weekend. We saw now it's going to be tough. They've brought a really strong car and package. They took pole position today. We thought we might have been able to challenge them. I didn't have a great first lap, and Earl had a problem with a flat spot and then a puncture, which means we're going to start from P4. But from what we saw in the long runs, they probably had a slight edge on us. So it means that we have to put a really clean race together to beat them. So, which is cool. We want to do that. I don't think it makes sense to just cruise and bring it home to try and take the championship. We'd love to sign off this 919 story with the highest level we can.